Hola guys and girls and welcome to week 1 of the GBA. The season 7 is finally starting and we hop right in with a team builder for our match versus the San José Sharpedos, coached by none other than Tom, the guy which had the pick before me. So yeah, very excited to finally get to playing some Gen 7 GBA League games, and I hope you're excited as well. But let's go over this team first of all before we go into the whole team building part. His team consists of Decidueye, Thunderous Team, Nidoqueen, Vaporeon, Porygon 2, Azelf, which is a Z captain as well, Hitmonlee, Zygarde 10%, Incineroar, Lurantis, and Ribombay. Looking very scary team right there. Azelf as a Z captain, I probably would have picked Thunderous, in my opinion, to be honest, because I think that's more of a threat as a sweeper and stuff like that. Azelf has like all the options. Like, don't get me wrong, Azelf has all the options, be it physically, be it specially offensive, with all the coverage moves you can potentially wish for Azelf. But I don't think he has quite the punching power to be probably, like, you want to have your Z move on a wall breaker, which is like very, very strong, or you're on a setup mon, which how you set up, he brings a counter, your Z move kills the counter. And Azelf does not have that much setup options, so I'm not too worried about that. But like, to be fair, but I can't really prepare for like a Z move Azelf. Like, he has, like, depends on if he's physical, I have other checks to this thing. If he's special, I have other checks to this thing. So I have no idea what kind of Azelf he would prefer versus me, so I don't really know what Z move he will bring versus me, so that's a problem. Other than that, offensively, his biggest threats to my team, I think, are one thing, Zygarde 10%, because I only got one ground resist, and a lot of things which are ground weak if it's 1000 arrows, because if you, in case you don't know, if you are levitating or flying type, 1000 arrows still hits you, even though it's a ground type move. And then we got Thunderous Sea and Nidoqueen. I'm really sure he would bring a special defensive Nidoqueen versus me, because I get like so many monsters the special defense Nidoqueen can't stop, like a Magearna, like my Nielego, stuff like that. So, but if he brings an offensive one, that could be a very big problem for my team. And then Thunderous, it's way too strong, 145 special attack set up with Nasty Code and Agility, a lot of coverage, and yeah, we'll have some problems with that. But yeah, these are like the main big threats. Of course, you got like the annoying defensive monsters like P2, like Vaporeon, like Celesteela, but I'm not too worried about them. I'm more worried about the offense. He probably will bring Hitmonlee as well, because that's just nice Mark Punch priority for my Crawdaunt, because Crawdaunt, other than Hitmonlee, it has potential to run through his team. So yeah, I think he might bring Hitmonlee. His hazard removal is not the best. He has Lurantis and Hitmonlee. And yeah, having Hitmonlee myself last season and only having a defogger in Scizor and Skuntank, I can say this is not the best hazard removal, especially since you don't bring Hitmonlee or Lurantis to every match, because, like, to be frank, he got some better mons than these you usually want to see on the field. But yeah, these are his team. Now go over mine. First of all, we got Risticle, the Choice Specs Magearna with a Corsola ability, enough speed to outspeed, to basically creep the creep of my Rotom-Heat. So if he has a mon which wants to speed creep a no speed Rotom-Heat, that speed will creep that mon as well. So basically it's 2 points faster than a no speed Rotom-Heat. And then just max special attack with the Choice Specs. His fairy resistances are the Celesteela and the Nidoqueen. And depending on which he brings, Fleur Cannon will just... what the investment is, like, Fleur Cannon is a 2-hit KO on this thing with the Choice Specs. It's just so strong, it will just pop so many things. I don't want to bring a Z-move one. Z-move Electric would be cool for the Celesteela, of course, but he has a very nice switch into between Celesteela and Nidoqueen, because Celesteela obviously resists my my Fairy Stab, but if Magearna gets Thunderbolt and stuff, but that's what Nidoqueen is immune to. So that's why I'm very inclined to think that he will bring like a special defense Nidoqueen to check this. That's why I have Ice Beam on this as well. Volt Switch just for momentum and Aura Sphere for the P2. I don't have any other Fairy or Steel Stab on this thing. Like, this is a Choice Specs Magearna. If you F-click anything else on Fleur Cannon, then you have to really have your prediction pants on, because other than that, Fleur Cannon is just basically the safe kill play to go for. But yeah, I just want to use this thing just to break some walls, like to get damage on Nidoqueen, get damage on the Celesteela. Like, he probably will be surprised that I'm Choice Specs. He probably more expected like a Z-move variant. But yeah, I expect him to double around scouting for my Magearna set, and I can punish him with that with just firing off way too strong Fleur Cannons on his team. But yeah, that's my Magearna. Next up, we got Crawdaunt, Lumberry Crawdaunt. Like I said, big threat to his team with Knockoff, Crunch, Aqua Jet, and Salt Stance. Enough speed to outspeed. Basically the same reason on Magearna, but not for Rotom, but for Mesprit, which is a bit slower than my Rotom, because that's like the best thing I can still creep with being Adamant, because I want to be Adamant, and for that reason I will tell you now. So, I have a Salt Stance Crawdaunt with Double Dark, with Knockoff and Crunch, and Aqua Jet as my only priority. Like Dark, his Dark Resist is Ribombee and Hitmonlee, and they are so weak they just die to an Aqua Jet if I'm +2, so they're not too big of a problem. Other than that, I can just spam Dark moves versus his team. I have Knockoff and Crunch because his best defensive check to my Crawdaunt is like a physically defensive, no item Vaporeon. That way Knockoff is weakened versus the thing. That's why I have Crunch, because at +2, Crunch will, after rocks, will KO that thing if I'm Adamant. Knockoff would be even has a chance to kill without rocks, but that's if he has an item, and I don't know how prepared he will be if he has an item or not. But that's why I have just both, because just to be safe and have some more damage. And knocking off Porygon is always nice, but this thing is like my late game sweeper or mid game wall breaker. One of the two I will use him. I have another set of sweep on the team. We'll go over there shortly, but yeah, I will see how I use in the game. It depends on which mons he brings. I have Lumberry, of course, so I don't get burnt by Scalds by Vaporeon. And I can set up on this thing for Salt Stance. Scald will do like 24 to 30% to me. Still a lot, because Crawdaunt's special bulk is basically non-existent, but I can take them easily, and if I don't have to feel the burn, I can just go for +2 and basically go for game if he doesn't brought the Hitmonlee, because Hitmonlee will always outspeed me and probably kill him with a Mark Punch, depending on the set. So yeah, if he brings Hitmonlee, this thing won't be a late game sweep, it will be more like a mid game wall breaker. So yeah, I have some options with Crawdaunt right here. Next up, we got Rotom-Heat, the special defensive Decidueye with leftovers, Energy Ball, Hidden Power Ice, Toxic, and Roost. This thing has enough speed for no speed Nidoqueen, and I decided to bring Special Ball with Energy Ball and Hidden Power Ice because of the Zygarde Doggo, and I want to have Hidden Power Ice to hit that thing. It's very close to an Oko because Zygarde Doggo is just so frail. But yeah, I still need the not minus special attack nature basically for that. Then Energy Ball is main step, Roost of course recovery, and Toxic mainly for the Porygon 2, because I can see him bringing a Porygon 2 very easily. Porygon 2 is like a mon you can slap on every team, make it special defensive, make it physically defensive, and it choose hits for days. That's why I have Toxic right here. And yeah, Hidden Power Ice for Zygarde Doggo. I'm special defensive for the Thunderous. This is my main check for the Thunderous. It is a soft check to the Zygarde as well, because I can take the 1000 arrows, the best on my team. But it's not the main check to that. Like, if I can predict this 1000 arrows, I can just switch in this thing without a problem, because it will do less than half easily. That's like 20% or something like that, because Zygarde Doggo is not that strong. It's like only 100 base attack stat. So if he's not banded or set up, this thing is a nice check to that as well. If he starts setting up and has like Crunch and Outrage, this thing can't really, like, it can still take a hit, but not, it will be a 2-hit KO, so I can't switch it in carelessly. I have to be more preserved with that. But yeah, Hidden Power Ice for the Zygarde Doggo mainly hits the, the Thunderous as well, which this thing's a main check to. Even Dark Pulse is not a 2-hit KO versus my Decidueye from the Thunderous, so yeah. And it can take on the Nidoqueen fairly well as well, if it's especially one. Barring it has Shadow Ball. But even an offensive Nidoqueen with like Ice Beam does less than half to this thing, so I can Roost up, Hidden Power Ice it and stuff like that. Very nice special defensive mon I have on the team. Next up, we get my second setup sweeper, which is Lufthansa, the Latias Calm Mind variant with Psyshock, Thunderbolt, Substitute, and Calm Mind. This thing has enough speed to outspeed the max speed Thunderous T. If he's Scarf, of course he will outspeed me, but yeah, his other fast mons like the Zygarde or the Ribombee, I can't outspeed either way. He has some very nice speed on his team, so yeah, no need to speed them. With max HP, 4 in Spadef, and the rest in defense, and 4 in special attack, because that's just how the numbers on level 50 work. This thing is there with the Substitute, Psyshock, Thunderbolt. Basically, its only Psyshock switch-ins are the Celesteela and the Incineroar, basically. Incineroar, I don't really expect him to come. Incineroar could be a big problem to my team, potentially, if he brings that. I still have checks to that, you can see later. But yeah, Incineroar, I don't really expect to come, but barring that, Celesteela will be bopped by a Thunderbolt, and the rest I could just have Psyshocks on his team. Substitute and Calm Mind. Calm Mind setup is there just to boost my Spadef and to boost my attack, and with Substitute, actually, I can add +1 Ice Beam from a no special attack. Porygon can't break my sub anymore for Spadef investment. If I can use Porygon as setup for that, and once I add +3 or +4 stuff like that, I can easily 2 KO that with with Psyshocks, and he won't be able to break my sub. I will have to scout for Raw and Vaporeon. That I will probably do with Crawdaunt if he brings the Hitmonlee, to see if he has Raw on Vaporeon, because other than that, this thing can set up so many things on this team, it's basically insane. And if I add +2 or +3, it's basically over. He has nothing to take me on anymore. He could have the Ribombee with Bug Burst, which would of course go through the sub, but since Ribombee is not that strong, and I'm very specially bulky, if I set up, I'm even more specially bulky, I can take hits rather well, but it's still something I have to be careful about. But Ribombee is not really one I see on this team to bring, but it's very speedy, it can do some swap shenanigans, but yeah, we will see. Next up, we got my main check to the Zygarde Doggo, and in general his physically offensive threats, which is Frank, the Rocky Helmet, Donphan, Earthquake, Ice Shot, Stealth Rock, and Rapid Spin. He's my hazard control with Stealth Rock, very important for his team, because like I said, he has not the best hazard removal in Hitmonlee and Lurantis, and if Hitmonlee I could definitely see him bringing, but if he brings Lurantis, that would be very nice for my team. I don't fear Lurantis at all, and I don't think it's really a good check to most of my mons, because it's a grass type, it's good for my ground type, which is like Donphan. But I have very nice switches to Lurantis. It's set up for Ladias. My Rotom can easily switch into that. My Decidueye, my Magearna. So many things can switch in on that thing without a care in the world. So I don't really think it would bring that. If I see hazard removal, it's going to be the Hitmonlee, but rocks are still important. Story, of course, then Rocky Helmet is there, because after one Rocky Helmet round, Zygarde Doggo actually dies to an Ice Shot from my Donphan. So I just have to switch it in on the... of course not the 1000 arrows, but if I pivot from my Owl into my Elephant, he will hit himself with going for Crunch or going for Outrage or something like that, and then I can kill him with an Ice Shot. Earthquake there's main stab, and then of course Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards on my own. This speed is there to outspeed a no speed Porygon, so I can get like a last ditch Rocks or last ditch Rapid Spin off with that thing in case he goes like for Ice Beam, because he could just bring Bolt Beam coverage with my team. That's very, very good, like with Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, or even Discharge and Ice Beam, something like that. But yeah, that way I can get like a last ditch Stealth Rock or Rapid Spin off, and yeah, basically be happy with what I accomplished with my team. Next and last, we got the main switch into Celestina, which is gonna be my Rotom-Meme, a Choice Scarf variant with Overheat, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, and Trick. This thing, this speed is enough to choice with Choice Scarf together. I can outspeed a max speed Ribombee. A Ribombee, which is speed creeping my fastest mon, which is my Tornadus. But yeah, this thing, I do not plan to have this Scarf long on this thing. I will Trick probably pretty early, because I want to getting rid of the Violet on Porygon will be so nice. Or getting, I have to be careful, because if he's Spadef Neoqueen, that might be a switch in. I don't want to get a Black Sludge on my Rotom-Heat, even though I could trick it back to something else to hurt it. But yeah, maybe that's the tactic I will go for. But yeah, I'm pretty bulky, because I want to be a decent switch into the Celesteela. I care for basically no move this thing can go for, barring Stone Edge. But you probably won't see Stone Edge too often on Celesteela. He might bring it with me, because I have a Rotom-Heat. But in the end, it's still Stone Edge. It's still missing, and hopefully not critting with me. But yeah, this will be like my main answer to the Celestina, because he has no things which wants to switch into this thing, because his best overheat switching is of course the Vaporeon, but I'm electric type and I could easily go for Volt Switch. So yeah, he does not like Rotom-Heat at all. That's why I'm kinda bulky, kinda offensive, not really that speedy. Without the Scarf, I'm not that speedy anymore. I'm still 140 with Modest Nature. But yeah, this is my main switch into the Celestina. My total tactic is weaken the team with with Wall Breaking and with my Magearna. Mid game, maybe Wall Breaking with my Crawdaunt, and then late game go with Ladias in and get 1 or 2 core mines up and basically run through his team. Robin Hood, Frank, Rotom-Heat being the defensive backbone, the rest the offensive backbone. We'll see who of these two will sweep. But yeah, I mean, probably this thing, because yeah, he probably has to bring Hitmonlee. I can't see him not bring Hitmonlee. That would be like mean here. Either brings no hazard removal, or he's like very weak to Crawdaunt. Maybe he has something else up his sleeve. I will see. But yeah, this is all for this team build, and let me know in the comments what you think of this team. And yeah, hopefully we can pull through tomorrow. I will see you there.